Alright, so now we're going to be going over factorizing, but with a bit of a twist. And the twist in this case is just this negative. Now, it's not actually so bad. The negative just means that we'll either have a negative positive or a positive negative pair when we have our factors. This basically just means that whatever factors we use, they must have two different signs. So the process is essentially the same. We find factors. So for 2, we have, since it's a prime number, we just have 1 and 2. And if we use the first combination, we have -1 plus 2, which is 1. And that's basically what we wanted to get, because this is the same as just 1x. And so we've got our solution. So the first time was actually the lucky time for once. But if we were to try to use this situation first, we would actually get +1 minus 2, which is going to be -1. So if you choose your two factor pairs, just make sure you try both combinations of signs so that you can see if one of the combinations is right. Just because one combination is wrong, like this one, it doesn't mean that the other one will be wrong. You could have the right factor pair, but you could be using the wrong signs. So just watch out for that. Alright, so let's try this example. So give it a shot and then pause the video, give it a shot and see what we do if we got the same answer. So the first step, we see that that's negative, so we're going to use either a plus minus or a minus plus. Right, so the factors of 5, again it's a prime number, because I'm making this easy for myself I suppose. So let's try 1 and 5. Let's try with a plus and a minus. We get 1 minus 5, which is -4, so that's wrong. Let's try the same pair, but with different signs. -1 plus 5, that's the same as 5 minus 1, which is 4, and that's what we wanted, so that's right. So then from there, we just do what we're used to. We make the brackets, x, x. We have -1 here, and we'll put +5 there. Again, this is the same as x plus 5 times x minus 1. The order of multiplication doesn't matter. Alright, so here's another example. Give it a shot and pause the video, see if you get it right. Okay, so the first step, we see that that's negative, so we're going to either have a positive minus or a minus positive. And so we think of the factors of 8. Let's start with 8 and 1. So let's try +8 minus 1, that's 7, not going to work. How about -8 plus 1? That's going to be -7, and that doesn't work. So let's try another factor pair. Let's try 4 and 2. +4 minus 2, that's 2, that doesn't work. How about -4 plus 2? That's going to be -2. And we can see that that is what we were hoping to get, so that's right. So then, quickly try, if you didn't get the answer, try now to put these into brackets. Okay, so we have x minus 4 and x plus 2. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Let's try one more example and then we will call it a day or a night, depending on when you're watching this. Alright, so this example is a bit trickier than the other ones because of this reason here. We have a -x². So before you're tempted to just look immediately at this plus and decide that you're going to have the same sign, rather don't. Make sure that you get it into the normal form first of just +x² plus x, right? So how can we make this -x² positive x²? Well, we could do that by taking out a negative. But then we have to divide this positive x by a negative, so we get a -x, and we get this turns also into a negative, right? And this is because when we multiply it in, a negative times a negative will give us a positive. And the same thing for that one. Okay. So this is basically what we've got. And then we're just going to zoom in and focus solely on this bit over here. We're going to ignore the minus sign for a moment. So we've got a minus here, which means we're either going to have a plus minus or a minus plus. So let's try the factors of 6. let's try 3 and 2. And as you do these, you'll kind of think of which factors seem appropriate for certain situations. So for this situation, you probably don't want to use a 6 and a 1. So let's try positive 3 minus 2. That's going to be 1. It's wrong. How about negative 3 plus 2? It's going to be negative 1, which is what we were hoping for. So that's right. So then, this piece, these brackets, becomes these brackets here. It's going to be x minus 3 times x plus 2. And then all we need to do is bring the negative down as well. So to recap, all we're doing is we're dividing by a negative from this step to this step. We're just dividing by a negative, and that just flips all the signs. And then we treat this interior bracket as we would normally treat a quadratic. We would just factorize that normally, and then we remember to bring this negative sign down again when we're done. Okay, cool. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, but I would probably help you to just go through the video again and try the questions if you didn't get them all right.